There's a Yoruba adage that says, Ojulari Ore Odenu, meaning friendship is visible but it does not extend to the heart. Can we say this in the case of Ayinla? Let's find out in this intriguing moral-filled story. Far away in a small village called Ilu Koda, there lived two bosom friends named Ajani and Ayinla. They have been friends since they were little children, thereby growing up to have so much in common and doing things together, such as getting married the same week, hunting together, train together as warrior, and so on. Ajani has a son named Aremu. People respected Ajani for his strength, leadership, and dedication to his family, including his wife, Moremi. The warriors of Ilu Koda needed a new leader to guide them in their defense of the city. After much deliberation, Ajani was chosen as the captain of the squad due to his bravery, intelligence, and charisma. Ajani was a fearless and talented warrior admired by all. However, his closest friend, Ayinla, secretly resented this decision. Ayinla, blinded by jealousy, believed he deserved this position and struggled to accept Ajani's appointment, even though they have been friends since little children. Among Ajani's warriors was Adigun, known as the Parrot. Famous for his gossiping nature, Adigun's chatter often amused and annoyed those around him, but his talkative ways had their own significance. On a fateful full moon, after dinner in Ayinla's house, he sat down in his compound with his wife, Lalongbe. Ayinla gave out a long sigh, then said to his wife, I wish I was chosen as the leader of the warrior squad, but I believe Ajani also deserves it. Before he could say more, his wife objected him, saying, who says you don't deserve it better than him? Short silence ensued between them. Then his wife, who is a native of another village, Ilu Halujo, about 5 villages away from Ilu Koda, said to him, my husband, don't worry. You don't need to be here to conquer Ajani. It's high time you take all he has deprived you of. With this, Ayinla and his wife began plotting against Ajani. Ayinla secretly aligned with his wife's kingdom, Ilu Halujo, providing them with key information about Ilu Koda's warrior in exchange for being made the chief army commander of Ilu Halujo, with the help of his father-in-law, who is a chief there. One cold evening after dinner in the warriors' camp, where they train away from the village, Ajani sensed a strange figure in the bush. Before he could say jack, the warriors of Ilu Halujo attacked them from all sides. The sudden ambush carried out by the forces of Ilu Halujo was so strong, rendering the warriors of Ilu Koda defenseless, and with time they lost their strength. Ajani fought valiantly and refused to surrender, even as the warriors of Ilu Koda were surrounded. In a moment of treachery, his closest friend, Ayinla, stabbed him in the back, both literally and figuratively. The betrayal happened in full view of Adigun the Parrot, who could not believe, neither forget the sight of it till date. Orphaned Aremu, the son of Ajani, was raised by his grandmother in Ilu Koda. She nurtured him and instilled good morals in him. When Aremu grew older, and is mature enough. His grandma, knowing she had less time, sat him down one day and told him about his father, how strong, fearless, and impactful he was in his short lifetime. She also told him how the sudden death of his father had also claimed his mother's life out of shock. Adigun and the remaining warriors who were captured during the ambush were taken to Ilu Alujo as slaves. Life became harsh and unforgiving, testing their resilience. 20 years later, while in captivity, Adigun unexpectedly sighted Ayinla, who could no longer recognize him. Ayinla ordered the older men from his slaves to be released and sent away, as they were no longer useful to him. Adigun was fortunate to be among them, as he was looking very older than his age. He seized this opportunity to go back to his village, Ilu Koda. Back in Ilu Koda, Adigun, in his frail and old state, with less or no responsibility, spent more time at the palm wine joint, using that as an opportunity to share his experience as a slave in Ilu Alujo. On one of these occasions, he made the shocking revelation of how they were captured and how Ajani, their leader, had fought fearlessly against hundreds of warriors till he breathed his last in the hand of his betrayer friend, Ayinla, who sold them out for a selfish interest. Aremu, who was in the gathering, was shocked to hear this. Later that night, Aremu met with Adigun and introduced himself as Ajani's son. Adigun was elated at the sight of him, now seeing the striking resemblance of his father in him. Aremu pleaded with Adigun to tell him about the relationship of his father with Ayinla and his whereabouts, which Adigun did. Foiled by his grandmother's words and Adigun's story, Aremu devised a plan to infiltrate Ilu Alujo during the slave exchange process, determined to uncover the truth and take revenge for his father's death. As a former warrior, Adigun recognized Aremu's determination and decided to help him prepare for his revenge mission. Adigun taught Aremu fighting techniques, offering wisdom and skills, giving him tips on things to do to entice Ayinla that will prove vital for his mission. In Ilu Alujo, Ayinla's reign as chief army commander brought misery to the land. The slavery exchange process became unbearably harsh, and taxes skyrocketed. Ayinla ruled with cruelty, using his position to torment both warriors and citizens of Ilu Koda. Lamenting their situation, people cursed him daily, saying, "The bastard of the land," for betraying his closest friend, murdering the fearless warriors, and causing widespread suffering. To get closer to Ayinla, Aremu disguised himself and joined a group of slaves ordered from Ilu Koda to Ilu Alujo. This bold move brought him directly into Ayinla's vicinity. During an encounter, Ayinla noticed Aremu's striking resemblance to his dead friend, whom he had betrayed. He gathered information about Aremu and Ayinla realized the danger in having Ajani's descendants around him and began plotting to eliminate him. While pretending to care for Aremu, Ayinla secretly planned to kill him. He feared Aremu's mission for revenge and sought to silence him before the truth could be exposed. One day, Ayinla invited Aremu to dine with him. He poisoned the food, and Aremu unknowingly ate it. Soon, his stomach began to hurt and he collapsed. Ayinla left Aremu in the bush, assuming he would die. However, bush inhabitants found Aremu, nursed him back to health, and saved his life. After recovering, Aremu devised a new plan. He waited for Ayinla's next visit to Ilu Market Day, an event that occurred every 4 months. On the day of the visit, Aremu and a group of 7 men ambushed Ayinla and his guards. They fought fiercely, killing the guards and some of Ayinla's allies. Aremu faced Ayinla in a brutal fight. Ayinla stabbed him in the same spot he had stabbed Ajani, his father, and looked directly into his eyes, saying, "It is so unfortunate you will be dying by my hand, just like your father, Ajani." Taunting him, these words pierced like dagger into Aremu's heart, and with all the strength left in him, he pushed Ayinla away, causing him to stagger backward. And before Ayinla could gain his balance, Aremu picked up his sword and beheaded Ayinla in one strike, fulfilling his mission. Aremu returned to Ilu Koda to find that his grandmother had passed away. At her grave, he announced he had completed his mission and avenged his father's death. Aremu took Adigun as his only remaining family. Grateful for Adigun's role in his mission, he honored him publicly. The people of Ilu Koda made Aremu the captain of the warrior team, celebrating his bravery and success. His leadership marked a new chapter for the city.